Hey guys, it's Vimal here and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be very interesting and also quite knowledgeable, so make sure to watch it till the end. You guys know right how much I love making concept related PC videos, and every time I try to come up with a new concept, and today, as you might have already seen in the video's title, we will be building an all Asus gaming PC build, guys. That means each and every part in this PC is from Asus tough gaming lineup, and it's going to be a hell lot of fun. This PC will also include some peripherals as well, so it's going to be a complete tough gaming setup, guys. So that is the concept, and the main target of this PC is like it's mainly made for excellent 1440p 60 fps gaming with ray tracing and DLSS enabled. And not only that, you can also do like very high frame rate 1080p gaming mainly for competitive gamers. So that is the main target. And let me tell you, we are using Nvidia's brand new RTX 3060 Ti graphic card in this build, which just came out a few days ago. And this is their second gen RTX card, guys, based on Ampere architecture. And you guys know, right, like the second gen RTX card offer like ultimate gaming experience in most of the brand new games like Call of Duty Black Ops, or maybe Fortnite, or even the Cyberpunk 2077 game which just came out recently. Like you can do excellent gaming with ray tracing and DLSS also. A lot of people know that ray tracing and DLSS is a term, but what do they actually do? Like, how much difference do they bring in actual gaming experience? A lot of people do not have idea about that. So in this video, I'll be showing you like the differences and how much impact do ray tracing and DLSS bring up when you enable them while gaming, guys. See, let me just tell you briefly right now. We'll go in depth at a later part, and I'll show you examples and live demos also during the gameplay benchmarks part. See, ray tracing means it offers you like realistic lighting solution in games when you enable that. That means you get to experience like realistic sun rays or maybe realistic shadows, and it greatly improves the overall gaming experience. And if you talk about DLSS, see, it's also very simple. DLSS stands for deep learning and super sampling. That means it's like a machine learning technology only using AI that is used to enhance the overall graphic rendering performance. See, simply put in words, guys, this technology is going to boost your frame rates by a great number, and that too without compromising the image quality. That is what DLSS does. And lastly, if you talk about NVIDIA's new reflex technology, well, this is used to reduce the overall system latency. That can be very useful for competitive esport gamers. So competitive esport gamers, if you are watching this video, it can be quite useful for you all. So keeping that aside, guys, let me just quickly tell you about the components that we'll be using in today's Asus tough gaming PC build. First, talking about the CPU, I'm using Ryzen 5 3600X. Initial plan was to go with Ryzen 5 5600X, their brand AMD's brand new 5000 series CPU, but unfortunately that CPU is like not in stock anywhere. I couldn't get my hands on it, and also it was a bit expensive, guys, almost or maybe a bit higher than 3700X Ryzen 7. That's why I thought I'll skip that and maybe go with Ryzen 5 3600X, the previous gen CPU. See, 3600X is no slouch. It's also a great gaming CPU for the price that you're paying. Comes with 6 cores, 12 threads, and offers like very good performance for the price. So that is the CPU. I'm also not using any dedicated air or liquid cooler for this build. You don't need actually. I'm using stock cooler only. And if you talk about the graphic card, I've already told you, right? I'm going with RTX 3060 Ti from Asus, and this is the OC edition from Tough Gaming lineup. If you ask about the motherboard I'm using is also from Asus Tough Gaming lineup. It's their X570 chipset variant with Wi-Fi edition. And if you are actually having a bit of tight budget now, you can actually go for maybe B550 or B450 Tough Gaming edition. That will also work. There only see that you'll like cut down the price by almost 5 to 6,000 rupees. I'll leave this choice up to you guys. Now, if you ask about the power supply and the cabinet, well, power supply I'm also using from Asus only, but unfortunately I couldn't get the tough edition power supply, so I'm using Asus ROG Strix variant power supply, guys. And for this sort of configuration, 650 watt is like plenty. It's like it'll get your job done. So I'm going with 650 watt 80 plus fully modular power supply from the ROG Strix lineup. The cabinet I'm using is also special. It's from Asus. It's their brand new Tough GT301 case. It's got this nice honeycomb military-like design from the front, has a tempered glass panel on the side, and this one is a compact mid-tower gaming case. I forgot about the RAM, guys. RAM is also from Tough Alliance only. This is in collaboration with T-Force, the Delta RGB RAM, and I'm using 32 gigs of RAM in dual channel configuration. What else is left? I think we've covered most of the stuff. Oh yeah, peripherals. I forgot to tell you. Peripherals are also from Asus Tough Gaming lineup only. We've got the Tough Gaming M5 mouse, K7 gaming keyboard, and H3 gaming headset from Asus. So that is pretty much it, guys. Without wasting any more time, let's get started with the assembling. Building a PC is very simple, guys. Just watch my video step by step and you can also do it. As mentioned earlier, today we are building a complete Asus TUF themed gaming PC, and TUF series usually have a military themed design with the whole camouflage pattern all over the components, minimalistic RGB and solid durability. So the first step is to install the CPU on the motherboard. Make sure to check for the gold triangle alignment before installing the CPU. Next up, we need to install the stock cooler. Initially, I thought of using Ryzen 3600X stock cooler, but to spice up things a bit, I am using Ryzen 7 stock cooler, the Wraith Prism RGB. Wraith Prism has a beautiful RGB lighting and will look great in this build. See guys, if you want one of these coolers, then you can actually try asking in your local computer stores. I'm pretty sure they'll have like plenty of spare coolers like this, which they would be willing to sell separately. You need to fix the levers on both the sides of the cooler to the mounting bracket on the MOBO, and once you do that, you need to lock the side lever to finish the installation. And that's it, you've successfully installed the cooler. Let's also install the RAM now. As mentioned before, we are using the TUF Gaming Alliance Delta RGB RAM from Geforce. Each of them is 16GB, so a total of 32 gigs of RAM clocked at 3200 MHz in a dual channel configuration. Install them in the primary slots of the motherboard just like this. Now time to place the motherboard in the cabinet. The case we are using is TUF GT301. This is a compact mid-tower case that supports most of the MOBOs like ATX, Micro ATX and even the Mini ITX models. And it even comes with 3 pre-installed ARGB fans on the front side. Now take some screws and start fixing the motherboard. Go in a zigzag pattern and make sure not to over-tighten them. Alright, now time for the GPU, the TUF RTX 3060 Ti. It's a triple fan GPU and we'll be installing it in the PCIe slot closest to the CPU. Just open the slot and push the GPU firmly until the lever locks itself. So guys, we are almost coming to an end. The only few things left are the power supply and the storage. So here's our new Strix 650W power supply going into the PSU compartment. The case has plenty of space at the backside so you can easily hide all the cables and even neatly organize them. And lastly, let's also install the SSD. I'm using a 240GB SSD from Astra. Just connect a SATA data cable and a SATA power cable to finish the build. And that's it folks, we're all done with the build. I've even connected all the power supply cables and neatly organized them, just a piece of cake for me. Now let's finally power it on and see how this bad boy looks like. Holy smokes, now that looks awesome, right? The PC looks like it's all combat ready with that mean look from the front, and love the tough bandage as well on the case. It's mostly like a black themed PC with beautiful RGB lighting. The whole RGB can be easily synced together and controlled via Asus Armory Crate software. And here's the complete TUF gaming setup we'll be using today. As mentioned earlier, all the peripherals including the headset are from the TUF gaming lineup. Links for all of these will be in the description box below. Alright, time to jump into the benchmarks. To match up with the overall military TUF theme, we'll be playing the all-new Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War game today. It's an awesome AAA title game that just came out recently and even supports both ray tracing and DLSS. We'll be doing this whole test at 1440p resolution to really push this system to its limits. And talking about the graphics, whenever you're playing such Nvidia GeForce aligned games, to get the best possible results and gain competitive edge over the other players, always make sure to apply the GeForce recommended optimal settings before starting the game. So sit back, relax, and hope you enjoy the content. Shit guys, are you looking at the gameplay? Looks awesome, right? And by the way, just check out those frame rates. We're playing the game at 1440p resolution with max ultra graphics and also ray tracing set to high and DLSS set to quality profile. And easily we were getting around like 50 FPS on an average. Turn off ray tracing and the frame rate will easily shoot over 140 FPS. But let me tell you, ray tracing is a real deal guys. As mentioned before, it produces realistic lighting effects by simulating the actual behavior of the light. To put it in simple words, it actually traces the path of light that it would take if it were to travel from the viewer's point of view in that particular scene. So in this game, you've got 3 types of ray tracing options available: ray tracing sun shadows, local shadows, and ambient occlusion. First, let me tell you about the sun shadows and the local shadows. When you enable these options, you get lifelike realistic shadows casted by the sun or even by the objects in the game. Just have a look at these examples with the ray tracing option enabled and disabled. The first clip here is with ray tracing set to off. You can see that the shadows are a bit harsh and there is no actual depth here, meaning all the shadows in the game look just like sharp black areas. But when you turn ray tracing on, there's a night and day difference. Turning RTX on leads to an overall pleasant richness in the environment, and that too with a lot of depth in the game. The shadows look very realistic and changes as per the viewer's point of view distance. Let me put the clips side by side and show you. Now you can clearly see the difference, like what's happening when you turn ray tracing on and off. Just check out these demos. Alright, let's also check out the differences in some more scenes. In this particular area, look at the sun shadows created by the net. When RTX is off, everything looks bland, but as soon as you turn it on, there's a whole new level of local shadow elements added that greatly enhance the overall graphics. Pretty awesome, right? You just can't sit there without appreciating how natural everything looks like in the game when ray tracing is on. I hope you guys got a clear idea on how much difference ray tracing shadows can bring when you turn them on in the game. Alright, let's also check out the differences with ambient occlusion turned on and off. Ambient occlusion gives a sense of depth in the scene, especially in the shadows guys. Just look at that patch of grass in the ground. Without ambient occlusion, everything looks so flat and boring in the game. But once you turn it on, there's a whole lot of depth in that area. I'm telling you right, once you get used to playing with RTX, it's very hard to go back to the normal graphics. Okay, as we saw just now, ray tracing definitely improves the overall gaming experience. But I have to tell you, it definitely takes a bit of toll on the performance, and that is where DLSS comes into play. DLSS is a kind of machine learning AI neural network that significantly boosts the frame rates while rendering beautiful and sharp images without losing any image quality in all over the game content. Also, without DLSS, there is no way you can maintain good frame rates when RTX is enabled, especially when you're playing at high resolutions like 1440p or even 4K, then that too with all the graphics set to maximum possible settings. Nvidia recommends using quality mode DLSS settings for 1440p resolution and performance mode for 4K. This will greatly help you attain a solid 60 FPS frame rate for a buttery smooth gaming experience. So guys, I hope this helped you understand how much difference does 2nd gen ray tracing and DLSS bring with the new 30 series GPUs. I could actually go more in depth and talk about all the science behind it, like how it works and all that stuff, but I assume that it will simply go above your head, so I try to keep it as simple as possible in terms of word with real world examples. Guess it's time to wrap it up. Let me quickly summarize all the component prices for you for the tough gaming PC. The Ryzen 5 3600X CPU costs 21,000 rupees in India. The RTX 3060 Ti GPU is available for 44,000 rupees. The Tough Gaming X570 Mobo costs 19,500 and the Tough Alliance RGB RAM kit costs 7,999 for the 16GB variant. If you ask about the power supply, take any 650 watt power supply, you'll get that for 6,500 and the Tough GT301 gaming case is priced at 8,400 rupees. Lastly, a 240GB SSD will cost you around 2,400 rupees. So the total budget with this sort of configuration will cost you around 1,09,799 rupees. All the links will be available in the description box below. You can check it out there. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more such awesome content. And I'll see you all in my next one.